Hello everyone and welcome back to another figure review. Today we're finally taking a look at the US retail store exclusive from Tamashii Nations, Son Goku, the lowest born Saiyan. Shortly after it was reported that folks were seeing this figure out in the wild back in April, I began my hunt for our second retail store exclusive. Unlike the 180,000 power level Kaioken Goku, which I found in about a week frequenting my local Walmart every day straight, lowest born here took me a solid 3 weeks of hunting 2 targets and 5 Walmarts roughly 5 times a week. Obviously, I didn't hit up all 7 of those stores every day, but I did frequent the same Walmart and Target to and from work. And I did have some help from my old lady and her mother, so in total we were searching about 9 stores in total. And finally, on May 2nd, I struck gold. And you know what? For this review, I thought I might do something a little different. Instead of boring y'all with the articulation on yet another 2.0 Goku, I thought I'd forego it in favor of talking more about my experience hunting for the figure and what I noticed during that said hunt. That said though, if you'd like a more detailed look at Goku's articulation, I'll have a link for the 2024 Event Edition Goku in the top right hand corner. It's literally the same figure as the lowest born Saiyan, minus the kanji for King Kai on the back and his new windswept hair sculpt, and a few other things. But without further ado, let's get into the review, starting with the packaging. I'll keep this portion short for y'all, but I just wanted to highlight the vibrant orange juice for Goku here, as it was the first thing my eyes saw when I found it out in the wild. I absolutely love the main photo they're using for Goku on this packaging, as it's iconic to say the least. The rest of the box is going to have your traditional manga style paneling with more glimpses of the figure on the back. Very standard stuff, but like the 2.0 Goku itself, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if this figure and the 2024 exclusive have taught us anything, it's that you can improve upon it. For the paint detail on Goku, it's exactly what I said it was going to be back in January. You're basically getting the 2024 Event Edition Goku minus all the parts that make him the Chala Head Chala Goku. The orange used and even the shading itself is pretty similar to that of the 2024 Goku. So maybe this figure in conjunction with the 2024 Goku was something they had planned all along. The boots are still rocking the rounded toes minus the tassels, and instead of the Kame logo on the back, we have the kanji for King Kai. This also means that this particular Goku is the only 2.0 figure in the line with this combination of kanji for Goku. Last year's Goku was the only Z-era 2.0 Goku to have the Kame logo on the front and back, and every other 2.0 Goku that I can think of has had the kanji for Go. Now, all that aside, I think it goes without saying that the main star of the show for this figure, and subsequently the 2024 Event Edition Goku, is the updated hair sculpts and faces. When I reviewed the Chala Head Chala Goku, I ranted and raved about how energetic Goku was doing the photography for the closing thoughts of the review. That Goku had so much expression to him, as it was designed to mimic the intro and his happy-go-lucky nature. This figure, however, captures the other side of Goku, the one that is serious and a true menace to his foes, who gives you a chance, sometimes more than one, to renounce your evil ways before he makes you pay. It's that cocky attitude that we saw with Nappa that is recreated here in this figure, and I love it. Now, when compared to the 2024 SDCC Goku, you may notice some slight variations in the color palette. Unless you're really looking for it, you won't really notice it. However, there is a clear difference between the print work for the symbols on Goku. The SDCC Goku is printed on nicely, and the white is very noticeable. However, on the retail release of Goku, you can see that Tamashii did not print the logos on very well, as there is some orange bleeding through. It's a bit of a bummer, and it could be a widespread issue, but it's not a deal breaker in my book, because the skin tone for both of these Gokus match perfectly, so you can go wild with all the face swaps. Speaking of swapping faces, let's talk accessories. For the accessories, Goku is going to come with your typical Goku hand spread minus the instant transmission hands, and in their place, you get an extra head sculpt that's windswept. So along with that, we get 3 extra faceplates for a total of 4, and 3 extra sets of hands for a total of 4. It's a pretty basic spread for Goku, but generally that's what we've come to expect with a release that's in that $35 price range. So let's take a closer look at those faces. For the faces we get, a stern face looking slightly up and to our left, a shouting face, and a teeth-gritting face with a vein popping out on Goku's head. A first for Goku if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I lied. I'm looking at the UI Toyotaro Goku right now, and the teeth-gritting face has a vein popping out. Anywho, not including the fists that come attached, we get 2 martial arts style hands, 2 hands perfect for the Kamehameha, and 2 open palm hands. And then lastly, we get an entirely new windswept hair sculpt. I remember in my video talking about the lowest born Saiyan announcement that someone said that this was just a lazy reuse of the windswept hair from the accessory set. Well, I hate to break it to you, but this is entirely new. And I think it works perfectly for that specific scene in the anime or manga where Goku and Vegeta stared each other down before the start of their historic clash that would cement a rivalry for years to come. So let's take a look at all the faceplates on this head sculpt. Personally, I love any chance we get to make a figure look more dynamic in the display case, and this head sculpt gives us that opportunity. And for not coming with instant transmission hands, I'm totally fine with it. We get 8 different ways to customize Goku with 2 head sculpts right out of the box. I think that's pretty good. Now, as far as what's missing from this release, nothing. I think for $35 USD, this comes with enough to justify the price point. Some folks may still insist on this being a lazy release, to which I say, so what? You know exactly what you're getting with this release, and when you combine it with the Chala Headchala Goku, you essentially have one of the best Gokus out there. Is 8 possible combinations not enough for you? Well, between these 2 releases, you have 8 faceplates with 3 head sculpts that give you 24 possible combinations. 10 sets of hands when you exclude duplicates, Goku's Power Pole, the Flying Nimbus, and I guess a person could count Gohan as an accessory. In total, if you bought the event edition Goku and the lowest born Saiyan at MSRP, you're looking at $135 before shipping and tax. And that to me is worth it and not at all lazy. Okay, like I said earlier, we're going to forego the articulation and talk about the actual hunt. Now, I originally thought about filming my hunt and doing a vlog style series on it, but to be honest with y'all, I'm a bit awkward in the sense that I would think people might perceive me as being weird holding a phone up and talking to myself in public. Some folks can do it, and they're great at it. More power to them. I just want to mind my own business and do my shopping, okay? Now, as I mentioned earlier, I started the hunt shortly after it was reported that people were seeing the figure out in the wild. I believe that was April 10th based off of my screenshots from Ontaris Reviews on Instagram, and if I butchered your name, I'm so sorry. But the next day, I plotted out my route for all the stores in the area and set out thinking that this would be a quick hunt. Boy, was I wrong. By the end of the first week, nothing. I chalked it up to it being a logistical thing as it takes time for freight in California to distribute across the United States, and being in the Midwest, I figured it would take a good 3 to 4 days. Well, week 2 came and went and still no figure. I knew it didn't make sense to cover all 7 stores in my area every day, so I just limited myself to my Walmart and Target that were on my way to and from work. And then on the weekends, I tackle a few more in the area for a better chance of the figure. Keep in mind too that I had my girlfriend checking the Walmart by her work, and her mother was checking her local Walmart and Target. That weekend, I had also hit up all the stores that I could think of, and one Walmart in particular that's relevant to the story said that they had figures in stock on the app, but when I went there, they didn't actually have them, and when I inquired about their next shipment, it wasn't going to be until May 14th. It was a bit deterring, but I wasn't going to let it stop me though. Week 3, and I decided to ask my girlfriend's dad if he could take a look into possibly sourcing the figure for me as well. Well, he had the idea to check Walmart Plus, and we both noticed immediately that the figure was listed on the app for Plus members, but those with the basic bitch version of the app, like myself, could not see it, at least at the time of hunting for the figure. He managed to locate one and placed an order for me, and it had an ETA of the next day, and that had me thinking surely the hunt was over. Wrong. The next day comes and he messages me saying that Walmart didn't have it, and instead they had a Dragon Stars Super Saiyan Blue Goku that they were trying to substitute it with. I said no, let's cancel the order and we'll keep searching for it. Also, more on Dragon Stars in just a minute. Let's just put a pin in that real quick. On Friday, May 2nd, I went out on the hunt again after work, and I hit up every possible Walmart and Target that I could think of and initially skipped the Walmart that I was told wouldn't get any more figures until May 14th. After walking out of Target empty-handed after being told by another Target they had S.H.Figuarts on hand, I was feeling pretty discouraged as the continued disappointment was starting to set in. But something told me to go to that Walmart I had preemptively crossed off my list. So I did, and lo and behold, there they were, exactly 2 left, which is what I walked out of the store with. My hunt was officially over. And here we are with this review. I know I put a pin in Dragon Stars, so let's touch on that real quick. I was legit blown away by how much comes packed in those figures effect-wise. On my hunt, I saw Gotenks, Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the same Super Saiyan Blue Goku that Walmart tried passing off on me, and they had so many effect pieces with a price range of $35 or less. It made me think to myself, we are paying $35 for some of the releases from Tamashii and get the bare minimum. And that doesn't include the ones that are $60 or more. Sometimes it's just hands and faceplates. And an arm piece that's sticking out of Yamcha's chest. I mean... I was so tempted to pick up 1 or 2 just for the effects alone. And I've had my eye on the Dragon Stars Super Baby 2 for a while now because I'm still waiting on Tamashii to give us Super Baby 2, but I digress. Anywho, that was my experience, and it was completely different than the hunt for the Kaioken Goku, where I had found that within 3 days at my local Walmart without having to go to all these other stores just for this one figure. I'm not gonna lie to y'all either, the hunt had begun to weigh on me, especially when I started seeing it pop up on the East Coast by week 2. But I sure as hell was not about to resort to the aftermarket and the scalpers for this one. I saw this figure going from anywhere between $65 to as high as $170. Now the price has definitely cooled off a bit from those initial days of this release, but God bless anybody who paid north of $100 for this thing. I know some people have to resort to alternative methods to obtain certain figures, especially if you live outside the US. I get it, and I know I had more help than most people, so I want to give a quick shout out to those who helped me on this hunt. And I don't know if it was coincidence or not, but the day I found these two would have also been my mother's 68th birthday. She and I used to spend quality time together going to yard sales or just hunting for deals in general. She knew I loved these figures and even helped me get some of the ones I have in my collection. So to have picked up two on the second? Maybe she was with me that day, or it was just pure coincidence. But it made me feel connected to my mother again, because if she were around today, she would have definitely helped me look for this figure. Anywho, thanks y'all for listening to me ramble. Let's go ahead and move on to some head swaps, comparisons, and then we'll wrap up the video with my closing thoughts. For the head swaps, we'll be taking a look at what these head sculpts look like on the following figures: the Warrior Awakening Super Saiyan Son Goku, Full Power Super Saiyan Son Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Son Goku, Ultra Instinct Omen Son Goku, and Ultra Instinct Son Goku. A lot of sun in there. Okay, let's start with the default head sculpt first. In my review of the Chala Head-Chala Goku, I mentioned I love the look of this head sculpt on the Omen body, and that still applies here. It makes for the perfect base form Goku right before he transforms into a Super Saiyan. The shirtless body doesn't look bad either, as it's perfect for a Goku attempting to do the Genki Dama against Grade 8 Vegeta. Now let's take a look at the windswept hair sculpt. I think that this head sculpt in combination with a faceplate where he's looking off to the side is what takes these head swaps to the next level. Some of these just look absolutely epic, especially on the Super Saiyan 2 body. I don't know why, it just works. It makes me want to grab my Majin Vegeta out of the display and do some photography with Goku here. Now for the other way around, I really love some of these color palette combinations we can get away with. I think the sculpt that impressed me the most was the Warrior Awakening Super Saiyan head sculpt on the Lowest Born Saiyan. The color palette of the Lowest Born Saiyan in combination with the head sculpt of the Warrior Awakening Goku is just the perfect combination. The blues match the orange shading, and the yellow complements the rest of the figure just perfectly. 2.0 be damned, Goku here proves that you don't have to reinvent the entire wheel, just some of it. And this, to me, is why these earlier Z versions of Goku just f***ing slap, dude. For the comparisons, here's Goku next to Kid Gohan, Krillin, Scouter Vegeta, Nappa, and Piccolo. So for my closing thoughts on Goku, this is the perfect budget release 2.0 Goku. I absolutely love the fact that we finally have a Goku in the line that is accurate to his appearance in the latter half of the Saiyan saga, and I honestly was not expecting this Goku to be a thing because my main pain point with the event exclusive was the lack of more faces. Then Tamashii dropped this bad boy on us, and while he is not jam-packed like the Chala Head-Chala Goku, he is perfect for those of you who don't want to spend $100 or more on that particular exclusive because you just want the updated head sculpts and faceplates. Or if you're like me, you were anticipating this figure because of the kit bashing potential that this figure has. And let me go ahead and address the elephant in the room. The fact it's a US exclusive has rubbed people the wrong way. While I am an 11-year veteran of collecting this line, exclusives are nothing new to me. And my overall understanding is exclusives for other lines have been a thing for decades, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. I still stand by the fact that highly desirable sculpts of the character should not be tied behind a con exclusive like UI Omen Goku or Super Saiyan 2, but at the end of the day, we've seen them reissued in some capacity as Japan now has access to both figures. In fact, Japan also has their own exclusives. The V-Jump Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku is a Japanese exclusive, but we did get a general release of that same Goku at the New York City Tamashii store. But I personally picked up the V-Jump version because I wanted the outer sleeve. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that if you really want a figure, you will get it. Regardless of exclusivity or controversy, you will find a way to make it happen. That's the moral here of this hunt. Instead of breaking down and paying a scalper twice the MSRP or more, I stuck to my guns and was rewarded. And believe me, Bubba, I know sometimes that is the only option we have. But one day you're going to come across a collector wanting out of the game or is willing to make a deal with you, and that'll be the time you can finally pick up the figure you've been hounding for. So should you pass on this Goku or pick it up? With the 3.0 now being a thing and more improvements being made to Goku on the regular, I say you're okay to pass. Shocking, I know. But if you are a die-hard Dragon Ball Z fan, love Goku, or own the 2024 exclusive, it is the perfect 2.0 Goku for all the reasons I mentioned throughout this review. If you're out and about and come across this Goku, pick him up. If you live outside of the US, wait for a deal, and once you see it, snatch it up. Y'all will enjoy the nostalgia that it brings you. But that's going to bring us to the end of the review. I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for making it to the end. If you haven't already, kindly hit the like button and subscribe, as it helps me out and keeps the channel growing. Plus, I've got other reviews up and more to come. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on this Goku. Do you love it or hate it? Have you found it yet, or are you still on the hunt? If you are, best of luck to you. And I'd also like to know, should they stop doing store exclusives, or should they expand it? But as always, this has been Elite Reviews, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.